Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's FailRace episode with Golden Piggy on GTA 5, and that's a lot of police cars. That's the most police cars I think I've ever seen. Now, I believe by the looks of it is why the policeman falls off. I think what's happened is there's occasionally a very weird duplication glitch for cars that spawn in sort of traffic cars. We've seen it a few times, sometimes with hilarious effects. I think that's what's gone on here with the police cars. You can kind of see them in the distance, spawning in a weird manner. There you go, there they start sort of piling in. So it's the weird duplication glitch has happened just with a lot of police cars. That's a ridiculous, absurd amount. One of them upside down, so the FailRace Police Department is at least present here. You know, that's something. And they do kind of despawn as well when you're not looking at them. So it's a bit weird. Funny. There's a lot of people have now lost their cars as well. I'm pretty sure, yep, there's 2 or 3 officers just got ran over as another car piles in. They're not doing a very good job either. Definitely the FailRace Police Department that are on duty. We're going to continue to crash into the pile of cars. Yes, we are, and that's another person run over. Speaking of run over, Wells Toast tries to run over a random AI civilian. The AI has the last laugh. While they may have been clipped slightly, the player has got their car stuck. Yep, and that's really well stuck as the AI continues to run away into the distance. Karma has struck down the Feltzer that between its wing, the various bits of scenery and the various bits of terrain, that car is not getting out there anytime soon. I also love that the player tried to shoot the pedestrian but couldn't because of the angles and the way the car was hidden sort of behind the rock face, falling off the rock face. That Feltzer, I'm afraid, is not going anywhere. Karma has won. Karma has won this particular battle. Still trying, still not really getting very far. I mean, it's made a little progress, but now it's going to have to try and reverse its way out because it can't really sneak down there. There's a tree in the way. Even if it somehow managed to snuck the body through, I think it'd actually get caught on the wing. But yeah, Feltzer, all that effort to wiggle itself to, I mean, more stuck. Spark Kitty up next on Horizon 4. Racing around the Bamborough Castle circuit. Now this does something very weird. Going across the jump, I don't know what the Firebird hits on the floor. It hits something. Now we've seen this kind of sort of pinging around when cars land on top of cars, sometimes, but there was no car directly underneath the Firebird. It did the jump, went to land, game decided no, launched the Firebird into the air. It could have been worse, but it still wasn't great. Transit up next on Satisfactory has got 2 little worker robots that are having their own battle. Turns out one significantly, I say, better than the other. Certainly it has a special move that can ping the other one across the map. Amazingly, it pings across the map, lands, and does survive. However, I guess it's not really programmed to deal with being driven over there because it then immediately jumps off the platform. Not so helpful. Dead Possum up next on iRacing, doing some celebratory donuts. Everything had gone well up until this point, but the celebratory donuts a little bit too much for the street stock car. I don't think that's supposed to happen. I feel like that's not that's not physics really. Sure, we could stay there. Dilly up next on BeamNG Drive. Heading around with a rally car, wants to jump into the little mine shaft, gets a little bit carried away with the entry speed, and, well, that's wedged. That's very, very well wedged for the I-Series rally car. I mean, you couldn't have got it much better wedged if you tried. It's not going to be moving. There's too much of a, I guess, bank that went and jumped across on the way in there. I've crashed or took the car sideways. Inferno the Fox up next on Need for Speed Payback, having to deal with the police, which are always quite brutal on this game. However, as the Nissan goes to take the corner, gets T-boned by a police car. It's an awful large number of rolls. Shame, well, it landed on his wheel, so we didn't quite get the ultra slick getaway. Did have to grab reverse, basically didn't get busted in all of that, and we'll just carry on our merry way. A police car thought it had done well there. Somehow that car survived. Black and Red up next on Train Simulator with something not quite working with these. Yes, the 2, I guess, locomotives are somehow fused together in a way that they're not definitely not quite right. Now, they were trying various things, I think, to try and get them to pull apart. It wasn't working, so it's trying to find like an uncoupling button somewhere in there to try and get rid of them. Unfortunately, when the uncoupling does take place, I guess when they were coupled together, the game was counting them as like one entity. When it uncoupled, there were now suddenly two trains in one space, and the way to deal with that is to ping trains around and, yes, derail the rest of it. Not the most helpful, really. Crossbowman up next on WreckFest is driving a bus against some supervans. Now, you would expect the bus to have the advantage here, certainly in terms of strength, but little did you know, a flying supervan versus a bus, the bus loses. Yep, the bus loses that one quite impressively. In fact, I've never seen a supervan take out a bus before. And finally, Mike on WreckFest collects what's left of a lawnmower. Now, again, normally this wouldn't be a problem. However, this particular lawnmower is determined to beat the limo. So, the limo is now stuck on top of the lawnmower. It's got wedged underneath it, and despite reversing and trying to drive forwards, we can't get the vehicle pushed clear. Now, admittedly, okay, sure, you could just reset, I guess, unless it was disabled, but Mike is trying to pull the car. Well, wants to try and get off the lawnmower. It's still not working. We're going for a reverse. That's not done enough. A supervan actually bounces off the back of the limo and goes for a massive roll in all of that. Supervan does carry on. So we're just going to have to go with pushing the lawnmower, figuring get it across the jump and it'll be released. The problem is the lawnmower goes underneath the limo and rolls it. I think in the grand scheme of things, limo versus lawnmower, the lawnmower won that fight, and it's not very often you get to say that. That was going to be it for this episode. If you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via our forums. There'll be a link in the description. At the very top of the forums is the FailRace clips submission section, and there you can find all of the rules and how to submit them. It's going to be it from me, though. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, a goodbye.